Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys don't know who I am spiritual coach, life coach Coco, just someone that just wants to help you out in this thing we call life. Today I'm going to be doing a reading. I don't know what the reading's going to be on. I started doing this and I stopped meditating on the messages because sometimes with these messages, like I was saying before in my last videos, I will not pull the cards because like I already know what's happening. So I think that for the amusement, I think you guys like the cards. How is everyone doing? I went out last night. It was my friend's birthday. It was an okay time, you know? Like I was definitely, there were some people who I knew there. There were some people who knew her there. Yeah, we're just popping in the city. But I will say that being in the right environments are very important. So maybe the message is going to be about environments today. Please, cards, get in there. I also came home and ate probably like 3 cookies, which is probably, I should have not did that, but I didn't even drink a lot. I had like 3 drinks. And yeah, I wish I did have a nightcap yesterday, but that's what you get for, you know, living your own life. It's so loud outside. I don't know if you guys can hear. I feel like they're here. It doesn't matter when they come. It doesn't matter if it's a Friday. It doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday. They're just here sometimes. But let's get into this reading. Let's do a prayer because I got shit to do. I'm pretty sure everybody has something to do. Is there anything else I want to say? If you're returning to my channel, welcome back. Wonderful seeing you. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Let's get into it. Okay, hold on. We'll count off 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. Hold. And exhale. Heavenly Father, ancestor, spirit guides, higher self, lower self, protective angels, and Mother God, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for connecting me with the collective, and thank you for your abundance, substance, and prosperity. I will be doing a reading today. I feel like I'm so stuffed up. Okay. I'll be doing a reading today for the collective and letting them know maybe some information about travel or maybe some changes that are happening in their future. You guys know best. I would appreciate if you can keep the messages clear and precise. And if you're not called in this reading, you're not welcome. Amen. Let's split the deck. Okay. What messages do we have today? What messages do we have today for the collective? I wish I could open my windows and stuff, but they're just so loud outside. Okay, the first card I got was the 5 of Cups. You guys could be feeling right now like life is really not... There's a song in my head, but it's like the opposite because it's like, life is worth living. But you guys feel the opposite. You guys don't feel like life is worth living right now. There could be like a stream of emotions that you're feeling at the time. And it's not emotions that it's like you don't mind feeling the emotions, but staying in this place where the emotions are just lingering is a problem. And so I'm also getting here that it's almost like you're kind of tired of trying. You're waiting for spirit to, and I will say this, it's like, most of the time people say just look around, there's 2 cups that are right there, but in my interpretation, why would I, like in actuality, like in real life, I would know that these cups are here. It's the fact that these cups were spilled or they could have had poison, or they could have had, you know, something that I didn't want in them. And then you guys are wanting me to pay attention to these 2 cups. It's almost like Rochambeau. It's like Russian roulette. And people don't really know what they're going to get next. It's a Cracker Jack box, literally. Like that's what life is turning into. Even for myself, like I know that certain things are happening in my life, but then there's also a moment where I'm just kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen because that's just life and that's how it works. Okay. What are you guys so sad about? What are you guys so, it's very melancholy. What is the collective melancholy over? I'm getting that some of you guys feel like your dreams are not going to come true. And it might not just be dreams, it might just be like some hard work or like some projects, or maybe you're working on a degree. I'm getting that some of you guys are trying to get promoted as well. So it's like, you guys don't think it's going to happen because the people that you have around you, they just don't have any idea on how hard it is to be a good, like I said, being a good person is hard. If you want to be a good person and you want to do the right thing, it's hard. Like, you don't want to fuck people over, you don't want to get karma back. There's a lot of like rules that you have to follow being like a good person. And it's kind of like, you guys know what doing bad in the past has done. So you don't want to go back to that. But also being a good person is stressful because it's seeming like you're not getting the things that you want at this rate. I'm also a big believer, and I know people are just like, keep working for it. No. Sometimes you work for it and work for it and work for it, and it doesn't work out for you. So it's like you have to be able to take those cues and to take like the little small gifts and hints that Spirit's giving you so you can move forward, because this might not be your area. Like for me, I don't think that California is for me. I don't think it's for dark-skinned women. I don't think it's for women that are my size. Like, I'm not a skinny woman and I'm tall. And it just seems like I'm Godzilla walking around everywhere. And people keep asking me if I play basketball. Why is that the first thing that comes out of your mouth? Because basketball is known everywhere in the world. No one gives a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bitch. Why would I care about basketball? And some people, they're like, it brings people together. I don't care. You have a whole bunch of men in an arena getting people to pay for them, getting paid millions of dollars for entertainment to distract people. I could care very less. Like, if we didn't have basketball, I don't think that I would be affected by it at all. Besides the money that it brings in, that I don't even know if it's spent on the places that I go to or on the streets that I drive on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to work and paying for the taxes on the roads, not the basketball team. So what else could you guys be? That's one of the cups. What's in this cup? I'm getting what's in these cups is love, career, and friendship. They just feel down the drain. And for a lot of people, that's where people get like a lot of vitality, and that's where people get like a lot of like growth in those areas. Like, a lot of the time, if you have those things locked down, your life should probably be very mundane. You have your friends you hang out with on the weekends, you have your people who you can call when you need to, you have a job that's supporting your life, and then you come home to the love of your life, and things are usually like at a pretty good level. But I really do think that when it comes to putting the work in other areas, the other areas could be like self-improvement, and another area could be let me see, like physical, like weight and stuff like that. So it's like, if you had to work out, and then you also had to give back to yourself, and then you also have the love of your life, and then you also have friendships, and then you also have like career and family, or you could do like friends and family, whatever. It's like, 3 of those ships have sailed. It's just like, no friends, no love, no work. And some of you guys are just like, well, the only thing I have been doing is working on my body and working on my mind. And even though I know you feel like that sucks, because I have to be honest with you, sometimes inner work does suck. Like, I'm in it right now and I'm tired. And that's why I went out yesterday, and I was like, I was driving and my friend was like, just take an Uber, just like, but I'm just like, no, I'm only going to be there for 2 hours. I'll have like 2 drinks, which we did. We had like, we literally had 2 drinks. We had a drink before we got in, and then we had 1 drink while we were there. And it was just kind of like, it wasn't the vibe for me. Like, something about California, something about how everyone tries to like show out when they go outside rather than just like building nice connections. And that's probably, and I just have to be honest, that's why people like the white people from California, because they're open and inviting. And not all of them, obviously, but they're open and inviting, and you can hang out with them and it not be a problem. The black people and the Asian people And the Indian people that live here, no way. And the Mexican people that live here, no way. I think some Mexicans are cool, but sometimes it's just like when people get drunk, it's not the vibe. It can get real crazy real fast. And I'm not trying to go just like by race and stuff like that, but this is just things that I've been noticing as a Black woman since I've been living here. So if you want to move to Sacramento, and you don't want to be a people pleaser, you just want to be yourself, you're going to have to find a very specific, well, if you're like me, I feel like I'm not from here, so I can't really correlate with a lot of the corny stuff people be doing here. But hey, near here, there, I hope you guys find friends and love and family and better work. So if those are the cups, if these are all the 5 cups that you're supposed to work on, love, friendship, family, work, inner work, and then also physical work on your body, it just kind of seems like, oh my God, like it's exhausting. You guys are exhausted. What else do you want me to tell the collective today? 5 of Pentacles. Oh my God, that's another 5. 5 of Pentacles. You guys could be feeling left out. Like you could be feeling like a lot of the things, like you're having FOMO because you've been in isolation for so long. You're like, oh my God, everybody's doing this. Nobody's inviting me to this. Like, how come this is happening? And it's kind of putting you in a space where like you're focused to work on yourself, and it's making you not like others around you. That's why I went outside yesterday, because I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't think I like people. I haven't even, like it's just something about like, I know when I'm comfortable around, and I appreciate people that are around me, but I'm looking for a certain frequency of people to be around, because you just giving me compliments all day, thank you so much, but like very surface level. I'm not saying we should have real conversations in the club, but it's also like, I don't know, people aren't very open and inviting. And I had a conversation with my sister not too long ago about how, sorry, this is all about race, and I'm not being prejudiced, but you get it, whatever. It could feel like I'm being prejudiced, but I was having a conversation with my sister, and I was like, Black men literally will hurt everybody around them. And then also when they're growing up, do horrible things to them, talk to them horrible, leave them in places, be unemotionally available. Even for some Black men, like they're not very open. So like they're usually very quiet and shy. And then they get around people that are not of their race, and then they feel more comfortable around the people that are not of their race, and they feel like they can be open and free and do what they need to do. And I also kind of see this with Black women too. Not all Black women, but a specific type of Black woman. And hold on, I have to go turn off my AC. I thought I turned it on earlier. That's so crazy. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so I feel like they get around a certain type of people, and then they feel like they can be open and free, and they can be themselves. They start fucking wearing like socks and sandals and granola, getting a whole bunch of piercings, whatever it is, do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, there was a whole bunch of people in your past who remember you as being shy, avoidant, rude, whatever it is, and you don't want to heal those relationships, or you just try to show up and you're just like, okay, this is who I am, like this, you guys have to accept me for who I am. And it's just so crazy, because if a lot of people have a different narrative of you, I'm gonna ask you, I don't know about everybody else, most of the time people won't ask you, they'll just be like, oh, well, you're acting different, and you show up and you can just be like this. I'm gonna be like, man, you're different, like what have you been going through, like what brought you like to this point to like want to be like this? And if that person is open and available and wanting to share, I'm completely open with that. But the most of the time, I was saying in the beginning, Black men don't, they just cause havoc and harm, excuse me, and then when they change, they think that people should accept them for that change. But it's just like, maybe try to let people know you're going through a change before you go through the change. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know that you're going to be going through a change, or you don't want to talk to people anymore, maybe give them a heads up so they don't feel like it's so weird when you come back. Or they might still have hostility because maybe the last conversation that you guys had wasn't good. My nose is itching, so I don't know if I'm on the nose with that one, but anyway. Near here, there, we're going to talk about this 5 of Pentacles. This 5 of Pentacles is letting me know that, yeah, like I said, you feel left out in the cold, but it's also like, I'm going to let you know right now, what everybody enjoys, you might not enjoy. And then Spirit's like, well, what do you enjoy? And then some of the things that you guys enjoy is very low vibrational. So it's kind of like, oh, do you want to do that? And it's like, I feel it. The things that I like to do sometimes are low vibrational. Listening to ratchet like twerk music and popping it at the club, I feel like sometimes it could be a little bit low vibrational. Okay. What other messages can you tell the collective today? What would you like to tell the collective today? What do they need to know? What do they need to know about these 2 5s? It looks like there's going to be some immediate change also that's happening, or maybe like this is the change that like, I think this is how you guys feel right now. We have the Fool card. It's like your spirit is ready for a new journey, but your body might not be ready for a new journey. We have this little white dog that, you know, represents your intuition. The Fool is about new beginnings, freeness, being open, like, you know, having a clean slate. And I think your spirit feels that way, but it's almost like it's taking a long time for your spirit and your body to catch up with each other. It's like your body is like, oh my God. And it switches for some of you guys. Sometimes you guys have a lot of power and energy within, and then after it's kind of like, okay, some days you'll have a lot of power and energy within, and then other days you're just like, my body's tired, or sometimes, you know, your spirit's tired. So it's your body and your mental and your spirit are trying to get all on the same page. What's taking this transition so long? Because I feel like I've been hearing people say this for like years for me. You're going through a transformation. You're going to find the love of your life. This is why I don't really listen to, like I said, those readers, because it's always about love. And then the love interests that come into my life, I'm like, I mean, she was right. She was right. But I don't want this. Okay. Oh no, what time is it? Okay, hold on. Oh, fuck it. I know it's not overtime, but what's taking this transformation so long? The sun. Okay, so something that I know about the sun, we have one sun that's here. I heard that other planets have other moons, but we all operate under the same sun. So your solar plexus, like, your solar plexus holds a lot of your energy that makes you happy, that makes you like determined. Like when your solar plexus, it's about like creativity, it's about like laughter and joy. Like if you think about the sun and all the benefits that it brings to you, that's exactly how our chakras work in our body. Like it brings us growth, it brings us healing, it brings us happiness, it brings us warmth. And it really just kind of seems like spirit's waiting for you to like tap into your solar plexus. But I am gonna again battle with spirit. I don't mean to, but I would just like to bring to their attention that sometimes people can't be happy because like being in the same environments around the same people, even when you're trying to do better, it feels literally like pulling slime out of a carpet. It's like it doesn't feel like you're ever going to be able to get all of the gunk out. You have to literally go get other supplies and other knowledge to come back to clean it. And so if that's happening, like in transition, and you're someone that's like, okay, I want to get out of this transition, and technically you're the slime and you're like stuck in the carpet, it's hard because you've been there for so long. It's almost like you grew roots in this place. And spirit's telling me right now that you guys should embrace change more, because even this next step in your life isn't going to be forever. Well, that fucking sucks. I think what really confuses people, even spiritualists sometimes, even just regular people, even people in religion, what confuses everybody is that there's this narrative about keeping consistency. We turn on the TV's always on, the news is always on, we have electronics that work all the time, Wi-Fi be on every day, we're usually on our phones every day. But when it's time to create consistency in certain areas where we are trying to have spiritual faith, it don't be consistent. And then you're like, and then they're like, but we want you to be consistent. You want my emotions to be consistent. You want my resilience to be consistent. And I'm supposed to be consistently doing this. And it's just like, I know there's not supposed to be an equal give and take, but like when it comes to the laws of the universe, like it just sounds really crazy. And I feel like a lot of you guys have been experiencing, it could be karma, but I do think that a lot of you guys are getting in the way of just negative things that are happening in the world. And then, then you have to be isolated and being like in this hermit mode because, you can't go outside, or, you can't do the things that you need to do because the world is changing, and it's changing at it's changing at a fast pace, but it's still changing at a slow pace. We haven't seen the actual, like, excuse me, we haven't seen the actual change that has came with Trump being in office. We haven't seen the actual change of like Black people and their businesses and hiring more people. We haven't seen, I mean, we've been seeing certain things like stores closing. Excuse me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? We haven't experienced, like, at least for myself, like in Northern California, we've experienced some changes, but the changes are that things are more expensive. The changes are that the racist people and prejudiced people are coming out more, and they're not like shying away from it. And so they're trying to create, like, it's just so weird because in the Black community, we are kind of forced to, work as a community to help each other. But especially like in the ghetto and like, I was going to say non-profitable areas, but pretty much like in the hoods and places where they don't have a lot of money, we are forced to kind of like be a community and help each other out. But then when we venture outside of that, and let's say that you're the only person out of your town that like went to college or moved or something like that, and you get into these places, like I said, California, and people are not open and willing to be in that position. And you also have to understand that people will help you if you look hopeless. If you look like somebody that has their shit together, they don't want to help you. And it's because there's this own hierarchy and privilege that they have over themselves, that if they're helping somebody in need, it's like doing a good deed for the day. When in actuality, everybody needs help. It doesn't matter if they're wearing Gucci, Louis, or whatever it is. And that's why Spirit is trying to get you away from people, because all this materialism and all the changes with people wanting to be a celebrity or a content creator or be famous, it's just coming on really strong. So once that's the new standard, and some people start realizing like, maybe I can't be a content creator, maybe I can't be, the next mogul, maybe I can't be, these things, it's like the world has to change first, because right now we're in a very creative space, and the world has to change to a place where you just have to go back to what's going to make the money, what's going to pay the bills, because a lot of people want to boycott apartments. It's just very dangerous in America if no protests have been successful, I feel. Okay, there might be a small percent. Maybe I haven't done my research on this, but from what I know, from my sister going on strike, for me living in Seattle and going to at least like 6 protests a year for not even Black people, by the way. It's for gay people. It's for Palestinians. It was for my African brothers and sisters who came over here, and they were trying to force them back or say that they couldn't get like on planes and things like that, and they were searching them. And it was just so crazy. It was just so crazy. So let's ask how you're supposed to tap into, because I feel like, you guys, I've been trying to do creative stuff. It just seems like being happy in a world where people are dying and suffering and don't know what to do, being happy almost seems like an anomaly. Okay. What can the collective do to boost their solar plexus? Y'all know how I feel about the cards falling on the floor. Okay. I got the Temperance card. I really don't feel, I don't feel like thinking a lot today. It seems like Spirit's going to come in to bring some temperance. It seems like Spirit's going to come in and bring, like, some balance with this crazy. You see how it's like all smoky in the back? Like literally the world is like purging. And spirit's like, you have to find what makes you happy. You have to find what's going to keep you going. You have to find what's going to, put you in the right mind space. And it's because you need to be set up. It's like all the leaders right now, I was telling you guys in my other post, I make my posts for people who are leaders in the community. And I know more people are like, how do I help out the community? I help people on an individual basis. So if you ever had a conversation with me, or if you ever just been in my energy, you'll see what I mean when I say that. But it's also, there's going to be some type of balance that's being restored with the Temperance card. And I just think there's going to be a lot of change. Like, what else do they need to know today? Because I feel like a lot of them know this already. Okay. I saw this at the bottom of the deck. 7 of Cups. And with the 7 of Cups, it just seems like there's going to be some options that are brought into you. That's why Spirit wants you to take time to yourself and to give yourself rest and to give yourself the time to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what direction you want to head in. Excuse me. I think a lot of people are scared of choosing something because they think that they have to stick with it their whole life. And that's because a lot of the time people are pushing consistency. I get that consistency is important, but consistency can also fluctuate. So it's just so weird that we have these high standards of being consistent and showing up to work every single day and not feeling sick. Like, that's not even how nature works. Nature works on cycles. Hello. Nature has its own cycle, morning, evening, and night. Okay, that's a cycle. Winter, spring, autumn, and fall. That's also a cycle. So it's just it's the fact that we're not moving on the same cycle as the earth, but we're forced in these constructs that are just like, show up every day, treat people like this, have a plan, what is your foundation? And even if you were to look, I'm sure, at the root system, that where the trees are that connect with all the other plants and trees, I'm pretty sure there is going to be some type of consistency because they're roots. But look how long it took them to get those roots to figure out a compatible system that was working with other plants and animals. And you guys want us to do it in 100 years. And then you also want us to do it every day. And then everyone's like, well, how come this? And how come the people are this? And how come they're not motivated? It's because sometimes experiencing fun and experiencing new things is part of the consistency. If you're going to learn, it always shouldn't have to be at this militant level. We'll go in and go learn and go do this. People don't make things fun anymore. We're taking the colors out of the life. When people we're talking about the millennial gray, it's not that we're fucking sad, but it's also we're getting told so many things. We can't paint our apartment. We're gonna go, we have to paint certain things. It's bills really hold, they have our ass. They have our ass. But I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. I hope you guys like this reading. This was, again, a very different reading of things that we need to focus on. Let me give you some advice before I leave so I can close it out. But it's really just, rolling with the punches. And right now it feels like a lot of you guys are starfish or sea animals that got left on shore, and you're waiting for that wave to come in. You're waiting for, the waves to wash up on shore to come get you, to wash you back into the ocean so you can start thriving again. Let me also ask, instead of advice, let me ask, what is the collective not seeing when it comes to this transformation phase? What is the collective not seeing when it comes to this transformation phase that's happening right now? The Three of Wands. Some of you guys you're closing out a cycle. And with that cycle, um, you don't see, it's just like you hate life because you can't go back to any other cycles in your life, and you're trying to connect with old people, and you're trying to connect with old jobs, and you're trying to connect like with old like hobbies and things that you used to do, and nothing's hitting the spot because you're supposed to do something new. And I just want to say I am appreciative of everyone who has been taking the responsibility to do what they need to do to get to this next phase. I also want to say that it's not easy to put yourself in a position where you have to keep constantly relearning something, even though you might not even be brought back to it. Some of you guys are learning skills that you probably are never going to like resort back to using, but you do it anyways because sometimes that's your only option. So I just want to say that I'm very proud of you. I think that you deserve a universe in the sky because this is very hard work, and sometimes it doesn't feel good. Sometimes you have to be able to put yourself in positions and around people that you actually don't like. Guilty. All right. But it's just like this is the world that we live in, and it's kind of like being nice to people who are not nice people is very hard. So I've just been learning to be very particular with my words and how I am showing up in other people's lives. But any other advice that you'd like to give today, Spirit? It's just like Spirit's like you're embarking on a new journey, but you guys are like, this feels like the same journey. You guys are literally like, it feels like the same journey, and I'm gonna support you guys. It probably does feel like the same journey. So Spirit, what are you guys gonna do to make it feel more different? And you know, how can you give the collective more hope? Give the collective more hope when it comes to things changing. Like, I just know that it's because we're under spiritual attack. And if you guys get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But we're in spiritual warfare right now. So you can't like, it's going to be released soon at a certain time, and I can't really give you the time, but it's going to be released to you, and it might be released in secrecy, but let's hope that it's not. I hope that you guys get your awards, that you get the recognition that you need, that you get the certificates, that you get the training, that you get the congratulations before it's too late, before the world changes and we don't have access to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's becoming more digital. So it's like, for the people that are my age, the millennials, we had a certain time where we were experiencing what our parents were growing up with, and then we had what we were growing up with, and then we also saw the future. So we saw all of, you know, the phases of future, present, and past, like literally right in front of us. So it's kind of like, if we don't get to experience some of these things, we're going to be just like our parents, where they can't understand the technology and the changes that are happening. And I just would really appreciate if some, because I know that there's some people that are working really hard, and like once they get that degree or once they get that training or whatever it is, the world's going to change, and they're going to be like, fuck, this is for nothing. Because this is what happened to a lot of people who got their bachelor's degree and associate's degree that aren't able to get jobs. So I'm just putting that out in the universe so it can be known. I just wish you guys the most success, and I hope to see you next time. If you guys like messages like this, be sure to book me. I will have it linked below in the description box, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.